Fellow graduates, today marks a milestone in each of our lives. We're here because of the support we have received from our immediate and extended families, friends, program mentors, course instructors, evaluators, proctors, clinical supervisors, and host teachers. Some of them are witnessing this joyous moment, and they're probably saying, "Finally, you got it together." On behalf of all the graduates, I want to say thank you to all of you for your support throughout our journey. Let's talk about a wild ride. I have often joked with my kids about becoming a race car driver in my next career move. They would raise their eyebrows as if to say, "Mommy, you're crazy." My journey to this moment has been a long one, and I have often felt as if I have been on a wild ride. I'm sure some of you will relate to my story, as you probably have been on a wild ride yourself. I can see myself at 16 years old again, and in my final year of high school. Throughout high school, I worked hard and maintained good grades. But in my final year, no one realized how scared and sad I had become. My classmates would all be talking about the colleges they would be attending after graduation, or the jobs they were applying for. Even my teachers would ask, "How are your college applications coming along?" I knew I wanted to go to college, but with no available scholarships, grants, loans, or family wealth, that would prove to be an impossible dream. I struggled through the final year, becoming very discouraged. In the end, as it turned out, not only did I not have the money for college, but I didn't even have the credits I needed to graduate. I experienced the first failure of my life. But don't cry for me. I didn't know it then, but failure was going to prove to be my friend. Failing every exam and repeating my final year of high school became the driving force of my life. This experience taught me that giving up was not an option. You may be wondering, how did I get here today? How could this shy, introverted child, born and raised in the Caribbean, who failed high school the first time around, become a Montessori teacher, and now an elementary school teacher? Well, just like many of you here today, I got back up. I got back in the driver's seat of my life and drove hard. In the last 20 years, I came to the United States, got married, had 3 amazing children, and bought a house. The perfect dream, you might say. Though that may sound perfect, I've had many pit stops on this wild ride. Pit stop number 1. My husband? Well, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes 2 years after we got married. He would eventually endure not 1, not 2, but 3 strokes, all of them within the last 3 years. Pit stop number 2. That house that we bought, it was foreclosed on, leaving our family homeless for a season. And pit stop number 3, the mother of all pit stops for any parent, came when one of those amazing kids ran away from home at 16, right in the middle of my WGU journey. In the words of the author of Pete the Cat, when Pete lost his groovy buttons, did Miranda cry? Goodness, yes. Those 3 major pit stops rocked my world. But thanks to the many wonderful people I had surrounded myself with, the devotion to my family, and the sheer grace extended to me by the Creator of the universe, I got back up. I kept the promise I made to my parents and myself at 16 when I had failed it all. And that promise was to graduate from college. When it looked like that might not be a possibility, I came across WGU, a university that would cost me a fraction of what it cost at other colleges. Allow me to keep my job, care for a sick spouse, homeschool my child, be a track and cross-country mom, and graduate in half the time. Talk about a wild ride. Every day has been a race to the finish line for our family. My husband, who patiently held on to see me finish this race, would succumb to multiple myeloma on March 1st, 2020. A disease he never knew he had until his last week on earth. I got to tell him before he passed that not only would I graduate, but I would be telling his story today. Unfortunately, he won't get to see the son that ran away will graduate high school in June of this year, a year earlier than we had expected. But I know that he is smiling down from the balconies of heaven as he watches my college dream become my reality. Through all the pit stops on this wild ride, I learned 3 things. Number 1, I am in the driver's seat of my life. Number 2, pit stops are not the finish line. Change those tires, fuel up, and for goodness sake, get back in the race. And number 3, though I made it to this finish line, and though I will bask in the victory, take a breather and enjoy the moment, come tomorrow, I'll be in the driver's seat ready to start my next wild ride. Thank you. God bless you.